There was always a sense of friendly competition between Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Even at the height of their success in the Beatles, the two songwriting partners were constantly measuring themselves against one another, pushing, challenging, and quietly trying to outdo each other with every new composition. That internal rivalry became one of the defining forces behind their creativity, helping shape a catalog of songs that would go on to influence generations. When the band eventually dissolved, that competitive spirit didn't disappear, it evolved. In their solo careers, Lennon and McCartney continued to compare their work, though now from a distance. Without the structure of the band, their artistic dialogue became more indirect, often playing out through lyrics, interviews, and musical choices. At times, this resulted in songs that were openly critical of one another, revealing lingering tension and unresolved emotions from the breakup. Yet, despite the occasional sharp edges, there was always a deep-seated respect beneath it all. Neither Lennon nor McCartney ever truly dismissed the other's talent. In fact, each remained one of the few people whose opinion genuinely mattered to the other. Over time, that mutual respect helped soften their differences. By the late 1970s, their relationship had begun to heal. They were speaking again, reconnecting not just as former bandmates, but as old friends who had shared something uniquely powerful. Tragically, that renewed connection came shortly before the events of John Lennon's assassination, which cut short any chance of a deeper reconciliation. That enduring respect, however, revealed itself in a particularly striking way when Lennon heard one specific McCartney solo track, one that would unexpectedly reignite his own creative instincts. The song in question was Coming Up. Released in 1980, Coming Up stood out immediately within McCartney's solo catalog. Rather than leaning into the melodic balladry or polished pop sound that many listeners associated with him, McCartney took a bold and somewhat unconventional direction. The track featured pitch-shifted vocals, a tight, mechanical groove, and an experimental production style that felt fresh, playful, and slightly surreal. It was a reminder that McCartney was still willing to take creative risks, even years after achieving global success. Reflecting on the recording process, McCartney once explained how organically the song came together. He described starting each day in the studio with a simple drum track, then gradually layering sounds and ideas on top of it. For him, the process was less about following a strict plan and more about discovery, allowing the music to take shape naturally over time. He compared it to working with clay, building something piece by piece until it formed a recognizable shape. In this case, that shape became Coming Up. McCartney also likened his approach to being in a laboratory, experimenting freely with different sounds and techniques until something clicked. That sense of playful experimentation gave the track its distinctive character. "I get like an absent-minded professor when I'm doing that kind of work," he admitted, emphasizing how deeply he became immersed in the creative process. "You get so into yourself. It's weird, it's crazy, but I liked it." That willingness to explore paid off. Coming Up became a major success, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and climbing to #2 on the UK singles chart. Its unique sound captured the attention of audiences and critics alike, proving that McCartney remained not only relevant, but innovative. Among those impressed listeners was John Lennon. Lennon's reaction to Coming Up was immediate and enthusiastic. At the time, he had largely stepped away from the music industry, focusing instead on his personal life with Yoko Ono and their family. After years of intense public scrutiny and creative output, he had embraced a quieter, more domestic role. For many observers, it seemed as though Lennon's recording career might be on indefinite pause. But hearing McCartney's song changed something. "I thought the Coming Up was great," Lennon once said. His admiration was not casual, it carried weight, especially given their history. He went on to explain that whenever he heard a record he truly liked, it sparked an immediate desire to create. In that sense, great art inspired more art. To illustrate this idea, Lennon referenced a quote from Warren Beatty, who had said that a great movie is one that makes you want to make a movie yourself. Lennon felt the same way about music, and Coming Up had exactly that effect on him. It wasn't just appreciation, it was motivation. Stories from those who worked with Lennon in New York during this period suggest that he could occasionally become relaxed, even somewhat disengaged from recording. But moments like this had the power to shift his mindset quickly. Hearing McCartney actively experimenting and pushing forward served as a reminder that the creative race between them had never truly ended. As McCartney later recalled, he had heard from someone who recorded with Lennon that the former Beatle would sometimes need a spark, a reminder to get moving again. And in this case, that spark came from coming up. According to that account, Lennon's reaction was almost instinctive. If McCartney was still working hard, still innovating, then he should be doing the same. Apparently, that one song was enough to push him back into the studio. It's a remarkable detail, one that highlights just how deeply connected their artistic lives remained, even after years apart. Despite the distance, despite the differences, McCartney still had the ability to influence Lennon in a profound and immediate way. That renewed creative energy would soon lead Lennon back into recording, ultimately contributing to the sessions that produced Double Fantasy. The album marked his official return to music and showcased a more reflective, mature perspective shaped by his years away from the spotlight. In hindsight, the story carries a bittersweet weight. A single song, playful, experimental, and forward-looking, helped reignite one of the most important creative voices of the 20th century. It served as a reminder that even after everything they had been through, Lennon and McCartney were still, in some sense, inspiring each other. And perhaps that is the most enduring aspect of their relationship. Not the rivalry, not the disagreements, but the unspoken understanding that each would always push the other to be better, even from afar.